Looking at the large views of the latest episodes of Us, it seems that the heat and moral uplift in these series only rises. It just cannot be so bad that the main author borrows themes from past episodes, just because it does not come out another topic to invent in order to tell about it. From the faces of the characters, rolling back in a split second, when a new adventure of the object of discussion comes out. The 5th episode, I blamed for adding unnecessary timing, as well as blunt moments on which the Chuddle was not built the episode, stretching the Labuda, pieced together from fragments of future adventures that we would have to see. The idiocy continued in the new 6th, revealing Jax for the entire hour watched, not adding as the final part, using it anyone but a digital circus. And this is a morality, which even in this series there is no, so that you can at least like something to savor. This simply does not exist, except as the real essence of the manipulator Jax, who themselves, rather, consider the mediocre, who wrote the 6th episode together with the main screenwriter, collecting in their opinion a multiplayer, leaving, at the same time, a reserve for the future, which with each such move Gus works, it disappears from him because of some final conclusion, which in any case should be, and not in any case, that there will be some down detached from reality, who wrote his vision on top of the script, inscribed glitch in the final result. The 6th series from this is written no less for Shrapno, directly, as well as the 5th, if it drives the action of events not to logicalities that have not been shown before, without also breaking the very essence of the circus. Then with subsequent episodes it turns out only one sir. If fanatics who are ready to explain fully what their self-esteem consists of, and they are ready to idolize any callous, then they will call all these illogicalities surrealism. This is exactly what I had to endure, watching an episode recreated from a whole half hour, in which the main information is revealed only at the end, when they reveal who Jax really was all this time. However, as for me, it was stupid to flirt with an audience of artists, drawing a pervert on the characters of Use, with the usual mention that the bison wants to fuck. Not only that, the glitch has not yet decided what rating their animated series will have, if even such extremes are mentioned. So in addition to the further event of the series, this moment does not affect anything, since this is only a primary mention that does not reveal the truth to something, in addition to the fact that glitch cartoons are watched by children, and slaves only for the fanatics to jerk off. The mention of the fact that Remember and Jax in the canon of Mollusca is the main fact, and the fact is that this way of attracting attention is extremely stupid and disastrous for an indie studio that does not want to lose its main asset. For the most part, it does not affect the moving story, if in fact it does not even demonstrate the nature of the bison, but only imaginary and hung glitch ponts that they want to be adults, using the method, showing this adulthood through sexual expression. And now tell me, please, is it true that Gus Works, having prepared for the creation of his project, wrote the script for earlier, so as not to invent something new on the go? By the way, still in vain he did not use such a technique, because he is more working than several times to show fucking tears, which on Gus Works will appear after Pizdiulavania from their own fans, upset by the stupid turns. Crunched head of Gus Works, if he takes such a step, then this will happen to his neck. On the lips to give Gus Works can already be, from the fact that he makes each series a seed. When until the 6th episode, we have already been shown that Jax is not so simple, and the climax will happen in the next series. And I need to say that in addition to the fact that we have in the end the arch of Jax, and we have not fully showing the line with Cain, which at the end will fit in the last series, and it will look more crooked than my reasoning that the arch of Jax is kept on snot. What is the morality at the end of the series, since it was also not presented here, making your character Gus Works offense, hiding their feelings, very secondary compared to the same has been, or it refers to the fact that the Gus Works sweep one member between the legs, has two at once, given that he is transgender. However, Fuck could not add at least some conclusion asking for his discharge in this context, that I was already shown who Jax really is, if he is made an evil mastermind, tolerating his pissed off 300 times in a Rao character, even if in the 7th, as the final arc of the series of Jax will show that he still has a good side, the handjob in the form of a story, and Patience Kane can last until the 2nd season, in which all also have to participate in the characters in his adventures. The story itself is crumbling house of cards, not that the circus was smoothly built before, and this cannot be attributed to this series at all, given that this is all the same glitch gum, repeating the foundation of the Bloodsuckers drones. However, the circus is at least an order of magnitude better than the parachute, with which they are supposed to wash for a long time. Looking at how they completely shit themselves. From the devices that could be, they only have their tongue, which will have to clean all this shit, bitch. I do not know about you, but they will have to wash away for a long time. From the addition of 2 whole dramatic moments bursting into tears, as well as in other things, and the anus from the fact that, in an episode of such moments, now twice comes across as a series. If they left the moment with the ragada, then I would have much fewer questions than the stupid ideas of Gooseworks, who came up with to cram 2 scenes with mock tears. But what really annoys me is the fact that the guessworks are held on the same past moments that the main characters learned in past episodes. I mean, it will not be a particularly wonderful idea to rekindle the fact that the gangle is difficult to accept yourself. And how can you love your second self? Didn't the 4th episode show that you don't need a mask to give you happiness even without it? It's just fucking. And the mayhem is that the circus is full of these fucking ideas. At least the same quality with ideas that are on the contrary demonstrated. With the ragatta itself, as well as showing how someone cries in this series. This is revered by us as commonplace, rather than what can be considered as the fact that there is guessworks in your head to twist. Unless, of course, it is a twisted callus. Probably, the story will go about what I did not mention. Or did it, however, extremely superficially. These are endless jokes that can only compete with the stupidity that the series just informs you of its presence. I will say that the jokes are recreated as if for the youngest, when they position themselves as absurdity itself. If adults, except for children, they are not able to laugh. If you know that this misery is constantly crucified about adult topics, mentioning them, then forgetting, switching to the sphere of fervor for the kids themselves. Thank you then fuck dig for the second has-been hotel, where jokes are created, as if for people sitting on the neck of their mother in adulthood, as well as for children. Although in addition, at any time, switch to other characters, accompanies you with obsessive drama. There is no need to even think. The advice that I use directly from the people who developed all this, that this is everything, falling apart fucked up. Inconsistent with all these things that Gusworks adds to his Podzalupensky script. The cartoon series from the first series shows that it is aimed at a teenage audience, after which, the degree reaches 16+. When the events reach the 6th series, where the same vicious word sounds, from which the kids kidnap and forget. However, I am not talking about the fate of the circus itself, but about the very mention of sex. Although the nonsense that is going on in this series is clearly, most likely, a harbinger of the end of this series, because it is difficult to accept even the fact that Glitch, introducing a new character, who calls K, immediately deduces it from a narrative, which is already possible to imagine the face of theorists who broke from this. So I personally had to shit on this dummy, voicing his son. If not for those same YouTubers with their guesses, building theories on this basis. Grieved by this, that from the plot he flies out in the first 5 minutes, to then declare himself at the end. But the most carbon monoxide, which is this funniest, rather than all the jokes that have appeared, is that Gusworks creates a new test for the characters. Sweep the privacy in the room. This, I suppose, is the second moment from which theorists would like to crack their head on the head from the fact that their guesses and reflections did not materialize. However, all the speculations sound more sensible than the fact that the Glitch then begin to write a post about this dummy, as well as create a whole shorts for the dummy, talking about it more than it should be, because the goals in the series, it does not fulfill any. In addition to the confusion, this episode is not filled with anything else. If the circus was not conceived from the very beginning, in which even the lines are not logical, rather than the environment itself, in which the main characters got, calling it all bad, even if such words are not suitable for describing the fucked Yeshikai, then this fucking Poabotenya. If you can call the fucking not the series itself, then the torn director and the change of frame. When he jumps back and forth in some moments with a Jax, which is extremely visible, you do not even need to peer to recognize it. However, I want to focus on the moment, where you can directly see all the collective farming that permeates the whole episode. This is the moment when everything switches to Ragata, in which the camera is very close to the bread. That Chuddle does not directly hint how the Glitch they wanted to prescribe her twos directly into the Charya. I am sure that because of the hurry they did not even have time, how at least not to align everything obliquely, but the deadlines were pressed, namely, for sure, the valve. So with the staging of the frame, they did not even steam. In addition to the suction in my video, because here in this case they gave their best. In the same scene, the size of the growth also changes, remember, where the spruce is as in this frame. It reaches the level of the Ragata belt. Fuck, it's even scary to imagine what awaits us next, since even the director's work is on the decline, with the plot turned upside down, which under such a pose raped more than the brains of me. These downs with their sins in their work, this is not just some trifle, these are the very moments that a person will look at. If in fact this in past series in general was not, only such hack is present in this episode. If for the sake of the plot, namely that it happened, Gusworks, making that an important part of the episode came, without any explanation. Remember, using a mega technique to disarm the bison. Bitch, making the promotion does not even bet in the Kazakh, so that you can detonate something. She bounces the bullet neutralizes the bison, so that it does not pose a single threat to life, except for the real one that lives at the moment. Do not explain to me in the comments, chewing that this world is surrealistic and everything is possible here, even such an impossible thing, that there is a fraction of the probability to achieve. As you remember, she did it, if before that, she firstly did not shoot and does it for the first time in the circus. And secondly, why does not anyone exploit this technique if he works like an altar? From this, you can turn over in a coffin, which the circus provokes, and about burying yourself, so as not to experience such abnormalism at heart, wondering, asking how this is possible. Another, and this is just physically impossible for an ordinary person to embody. I am more specific about creating a 6th series in such a shallow time, because, simply, this series is rolling into one abyss only, and there is nothing sensible. They will not come up with it so that everyone has a dick from the end. Listen again to what I said in the last sentence. The laughter is still that. Well, okay guys, you were hyper, and you put likes and subscribe to the channel, and also write comments, because I read them as well. And do not forget to go to donation alerts to financially support me, and including telegrams, in order to learn announcements about new videos, and not only. And with you was hyper, and everyone. Bye.